Okay, cool. We are live. Hello, everyone. Um, my name is Gabby, and welcome to the first ever Booktube Live Show. I hope things have been going well where you are and that you're taking care of yourself. I'm so excited to be joined by several very lovely creators in the Booktube community. If you guys want to go around, introduce yourself with your name, your channel name, your Hogwarts house, and then what book you're currently reading.
So am I? Okay,
Yeah,
I'll go first. Sorry. Hi, I'm Julia. I'm from the channel of Reader's World. My Hogwarts house is Gryffindor. I know, basic, but it's true. And I'm currently audiobooking The Lost Hero by Rick Riordan, which I already read, but I'm doing a reread.
Hi guys, my name is Chloe and I run the Booktube channel Brunette Bibliophile. My Hogwarts house is Ravenclaw, and the book that I'm currently reading I actually cannot say because it's for a secret video that I'm posting.
Ooh. Fun.
I'll go next. I'm Becca. I'm from the channel Becca with a Book. I'm a Hufflepuff, and I'm currently reading The Girl in 6E, which has been an adventure so far.
I'm Blaine. I'm from the channel The Starlight System. My Hogwarts house is Ravenclaw as well, and I'm in the middle of way too many books, so.
Hi, my name is Emily. I'm from the channel Em's Reading. My Gryffindor house is my Gryffindor house. My Hogwarts house is Gryffindor, and my current read is Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare.
Yay! And my name is Gabby. This is my channel. I am a Hufflepuff, and I am currently reading Dark Age by Pierce Brown. I just recently finished the final book, King of Crows, in the Diviner series. So.
Oh my god! So okay, sorry. That's all. I just had to say
no,
that.
it's so good. We're going to talk about it later. But okay, so we are going to be doing several fun themed things in the stream. So if you have any questions, you can leave them in the chat, and we'll try to answer them throughout. You can also use the hashtag Booktube Live Shows, and we'll answer them there. And we'll start to do that towards the end. As for right now, we were going to start off with a game and play the one sentence challenge. So basically how this works is we've each picked out like 3 to 4 books that we all have read, or hopefully we all have read. And we're going to start off reading the first sentence. And the idea is to be able to be the first person to be able to guess what book it is. So I feel like this is going to be a little chaotic. We're going to make it work. And it's going to be a fun time. So who wants to start with their first book?
Okay, I'm gonna volunteer. No one's volunteering.
Volunteers tribute.
Okay, so let me open up to the page.
Oh, it's a physical book. Yes.
Okay, I am not a New Yorker, and I want to go home.
What if it's us, right?
Yeah.
Sorry. So what's the thing? Are we just like raising hand? Do we just say it? Okay.
Yeah, I think it's maybe just whoever says it first. Okay. So then if we want to go, like, I'll go then after Emily, and we can just kind of go in a circle. Okay.
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right. I want to make sure that you can't see the book that I'm holding. Okay. Okay. First sentence for mine. All right. Isn't it funny how something can be a joke for so long until one day it isn't?
It's Tosh Hart's Tolstoy, right? Tolstoy?
Yeah.
That was one of mine that I had, so that's how I knew it.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of us probably picked similar books. So the idea is to have one on reserve because I also picked one of it as one of mine. So
yeah,
that.
Okay, so I'm next, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go with this one. Okay, this is gonna be a kind of obvious one. I clasped the flask between my hands, even though the warmth from the tea has long since leached from the frozen air.
Ooh.
No, wait. Yes, I stumped people. Let's go.
I'm like,
wait, say it again.
Okay,
yeah,
let me try.
Again, and then if you need to get the second one.
I clasped the flask between my hands, even though the warmth from the tea has long since leached, into the frozen air.
Oh my god, a character holding a tea. Why a character that's holding a teacup? Why am I just not having it? Do you want to read the second sentence?
Yeah, sure, I have it here. I took a screenshot from Google Books. My muscle. Oh my god, I can't speak. My muscles are clenched tight against the cold.
Okay.
That's me.
Okay.
Does anyone want a hint?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a part of a series.
We may be having some technical difficulties.
Oh no.
Okay.
In the chat, for anyone, are
Oh no.
Did Gabby leave?
Uh-oh.
Oh no. Wait.
So
What? So we lost our host.
The same thing happened on my book club live show like 2 weeks ago, I think.
Oh,
Really?
StreamYard, man.
Oh wow.
Who wants to be John Mulaney and just do some stand-up comedy routine just to keep this going?
Who's funny? Someone who's funny? It's not me.
Just sit tight, don't you?
So how is everyone in the chat? How y'all doing? We're gonna figure this out. I don't like. How do we invite her back in? Like she's the one that created it.
She can just
She
take the
has-
link.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Change it. Sorry. I'm just looking at stuff. So, any release that anyone's excited for this year?
Actually, there's not that many books I feel like I'm really hyped for this year. I think like Chain of
Yeah,
Gold was my
same.
one.
I would respond, but I don't know anything about this genre. Oh, okay, good.
okay. There we go.
Oh, okay,
Okay,
got it.
there I am. I needed to ask myself.
Hello?
Okay. Cool. All right. I apologize for the technical difficulties. I don't know if that was on my end. Yeah, like I just got kicked out of the stream. Like, yeah, the internet was.
The internet was like, no.
Yeah, my Wi-Fi is terrible out here. It's kind of one of the reasons why I'm sad I had to move out of my dorm because the internet in my dorm was great. So, but we are back. We are here, and now that I know that that is a problem that has happened, I can fix it in the future. So, where were we?
Hint for the sentence, it's a part of a series.
Was it on the list?
Here's the thing with the list. When it's had a book title that was like a series title, I was like, oh, okay, so the series, right?
Yeah.
So it's, yeah. And if it's wrong, it's wrong. But
Is it a Percy Jackson book?
No. I was so sad that we couldn't do Percy Jackson.
I need to read Percy Jackson. I feel so terrible because I just recently started getting into mythology after taking AP Lit because my teacher that I had for AP Lit was also a myth teacher, and she talked about mythology a lot, and I was like, okay, this may be something that I'd be into because I was never into it before. So now I'm tempted to
Please do.
read it. So it will happen, especially because Rick Riordan sounds awesome. I've heard so many good things about him.
I love him. Bless his soul.
Yeah. Okay. So
We need the third line.
The third line? Okay. I'm sorry, guys. Wait, so do you want me to read the full thing plus the third sentence, or the third sentence included? Okay, get ready for Julia to not know how to read. I clasp the flask between my hands, even though the warmth from the tea has long since leached from the frozen air. My muscles are clenched tight against the cold. If a pack of wild dogs were to appear at this moment, the odds of scaling a tree before they attack me are not in my favor.
Oh. God,
guys, there's a hint in there. I just realized that there's a hint in there.
Oh my god!
Not the.
Is it the Hunger Games?
Okay, close.
That's why I was like, is it catching fire? I'm like, is that when she's out in the? Is it catching fire? Yes. Okay, because now I'm thinking the beginning of the movie. She's out in the woods.
Everyone read it, right? Everyone
yeah.
Good. Because I saw Hunger Games on the list, and I was like, so does the sequels count?
Yeah. Okay. So we can move on to Chloe.
Okay. So the first sentence is, when we got the letter in the post, my mother was ecstatic.
Selection.
Yeah.
Guys, literally, when this whole trend of her sentence came out, oh god, there's a stink bug on my wall. Anyway, like I watched all these videos, so now I have like these first sentence memorized. Not good.
That was one of the things I was like looking at the first sentence of some of these books, and I was like, oh my god, I'm not going to know these at all. I'm going to be terrible at this. Okay.
Okay, I'll go. I only have the first sentences, so if you don't get it, sorry about it.
Oh, you're good.
I have them all on my phone. Okay. It's a weirdly subtle conversation.
Ooh.
I know it, but I feel like I'm cheating.
It's Simon. Simon for Levels of the Agenda.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, Simon.
Simon. Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, because then it goes like, I don't even know that I'm being blackmailed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Simon's my whole brand, so you can't stop me on
I
that
love
one.
Simon.
That's fair.
Like, can we all talk about how there's gonna be like a series? Oh, I can't wait for that spin-off series, man.
Disney
Wait, what?
The TV series.
Yeah, there's like gonna be a Love Simon TV series.
Oh my god.
But it's moving to Hulu, and I'm Canadian, so I can't watch it.
Oh my god! Well, I'll do it. I'll film it illegally for you.
Yeah, I was so surprised when Disney Plus dropped it, because I like absolutely thought that was going to happen, and then that was around the same time that they dropped the Lizzie McGuire reboot, and I was like, "What is Disney Plus doing?" Like, you started off so strong, and then it all just fell apart. Okay,
they're just a fate.
I just got an email from Hulu. That's exciting. Okay. Anyway, do you want to start playing with your first book?
I actually forgot to prepare, so.
No, you're good.
I'm very limited on what books I have, so.
No, you're good. All right, Emily, do you want to move on to your second book?
Sure. At the time, everyone had said yes to this, but I didn't double check the list to see so this is a possibility that everyone might not have read it.
If most people have read it, I think that's fine. Like,
okay. I shouldn't have come to this party.
Wait a minute. Why does this sound familiar? I shouldn't have come to this party.
Is this The Hate You Give?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's why it sounded so familiar. I was like, this is an important plot point, isn't it?
These books, and now I'm like, yes, because she's okay.
Oh my god.
All right, for me, book number 2. Okay. Okay. You've got to be kidding me, the bouncer said, folding his arms across his massive chest.
City of Bones.
Yeah. I knew I wanted to pick that one because I was like, it's my, like, I don't want to say City of Bones. It's definitely not Cassie's best book, but like, we all knew that was going to be my choice. So.
I have never finished that series, but it's
it's fine. It's fine. I'm not gonna take it personally.
Infernal Devices, guys, 10 times better.
And yeah, the Infernal Devices is better. Like, I think that's a common opinion. Yeah.
I like the TDA. The Dark Artifice is my favorite.
Oh, really? My one coworker was fighting on it so much.
No, Planetary Darkness, I don't know how I feel about it, but
Yeah.
like Chain of Gold I finished recently. Oh, it's so good.
I think I just love the characters in TDA the most. Just maybe because I'm Emma. Like I see myself as, I think that's why I connect with it so much.
Yeah, that's fair. Whereas like I see myself a lot like Tessa, so like I love the Infernal Devices.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Your second book, Julia?
Oh, okay, me. Yeah, this one's kind of obvious because there's a setting in here that gives it away, but you have to guess which one. Okay, let's go. The hottest day of the summer so far was drawing to a close, and drowsy silence laid over the large square houses of Privet Drive.
Okay. Oh. Which Harry Potter?
Is it Order of the Phoenix?
Yes, it is.
Oh my god.
That's amazing. You guys, I was like trying to think. Wait, because Order of the
I'll be right back. I need to get the stink plug.
Look at them. Go look quick. Is that the one where he's like in the beginning of the movie, he's on the playground, right?
Yeah.
And then there's the dimension. Yeah, okay, that's why that makes sense. Like, okay. I'm
My
just
Harry
rewatching.
Potter knowledge has not failed me yet.
Yes. Okay.
Should I wait for Julia to come back before I do mine?
Sure. We're good. This is a bit of a mess, but like we're having fun. This is what this is about.
Okay. This one might be tough because it's a really short sentence, but the step monster is at it again.
Geekerella.
That's Umbrella. Yeah.
Yes.
Yay!
It is Geekerella.
I just read that, so it was fresh.
Oh, I'm so excited for the third book that's in that world. I like never thought there'd be more than one book, and now it's become this whole universe, and I'm psyched for it.
I just got an arc of the third one, and I'm like freaking out because I want to read it.
I tried to get the author to notice me on TikTok, but it didn't work out in my head.
And I'm like, I know her. Like, you come on my For You page. I'm like, you look like the first time you're on my For You. I was like, you look really familiar. And I'm like, oh my god, I know her.
My one friend texted me, and he's like,
Get on her.
I'm on my For You page, and I'm like, why?
That's funny.
Okay, I have my second one. It's kind of long, and I don't know if you'll get it, but this is a memory I want to keep forever. Grace standing at the stove of her parents' rental cottage in one of her dad's oversized t-shirts as she makes us a can of SpaghettiOs.
Oh God.
So, who's Grace?
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of characters in books. Why? Oh God.
Grace.
It's a contemporary.
Right. That's absolutely.
Yeah.
Is it on the list?
It's on the list.
It's on the list.
I'm trying not like I don't have the list pulled up because I'm like I don't want to look at it. Yeah.
Wait a minute. I'm looking at my bookshelf, and I might know now. Is it Nowhere Girls?
What?
Is it Nowhere Girls?
No.
Dang it, because there's a character named Grace, I think.
Yeah, there is.
Okay, good. I was gonna.
I'm still stuck on the SpaghettiOs.
I know.
Yeah.
I will say when I got the first sentence earlier, I was like, wait, I don't remember this at all.
Oh my God.
Contemporary.
I'm looking contemporary. We haven't. But is there a character name? I don't know why More Happy Than Not is a book that I'm staring at on my shelf, and so I don't know why I want to guess that, but I don't think there's a character named Grace in that series or in that book.
No.
It's not more. Yeah, I was like, I don't know why I thought that, but I was like thinking of books we've all read.
I want to say Red, White, and Royal Blue, but I don't think there's a character named Grace
No.
in there. No.
I believe that it's the author's second book, but I could be wrong.
Oh,
That probably doesn't help, but it might.
I'm lost, guys. Google Reddit. Guess. I don't know anything. I don't want to.
Do you want to know?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Ramona Blue. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I have not read that.
I've never read that one.
I feel like I'm a disservice.
No, I had an arc at one point, and then I just never read it.
Oh, I personally think that's better than Dumblin, in my opinion, but that's just me.
I've not read that one either. I feel like there's so many books that I have not read, and it makes me sad that I haven't read them. Okay. Emily, your third book going into the final round.
Oh. Okay. It turns out. Oh, this is gonna give it away in the first sentence. I feel like. Okay.
Yeah, if you need to bleep out any names, do that too. Anything that could be obvious.
Okay. It turns out the blank procedure isn't bullshit.
Is that more happy than not?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
'Cause I was like, yeah, because I was like, that was the first thing that I thought of. Okay, then mine. This is my last one. Okay. Okay, this one I feel like is the most obvious of the three. But okay, here we go. So the screw through Blink's ankle had rusted, the engraved cross marks worn to a mangled circle.
Cinder.
Cinder.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I ran out of mine, so if you want to skip me.
Okay.
Okay, I have to bleep a name out. Yeah. Blank couldn't stop smiling.
Oh.
No, I was thinking, is it like, is it, oh my God.
Blink couldn't stop smiling. From what? Why are you smiling?
You want the next sentence?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
All right. Blank couldn't stop smiling. It was like two invisible puppeteers standing stage left and stage right were yanking on strings to lift up the corners of her mouth.
It's a girl.
Yeah, so that's why I was like, so then, okay, my original guess may be, Leah on the Offbeat is the first thing that's coming to mind. But I
Same.
don't think that's it.
Yeah.
Because she never smiles, so.
Yeah, that was one of the reasons why I was like, that can't be right. But
I can give the third sentence, but I don't think it'll be any helpful. All right. Blank couldn't stop smiling. It was like two invisible puppeteers standing stage left and stage right were yanking on strings to lift up the corners of her mouth. Okay, or maybe something less creepy.
Something seems familiar about the sentence, and I can't place it.
yeah. Oh my God, stop smiling.
Okay, it can't be.
No. I'm thinking, is it Fangirl?
No.
No, it's that line sits there as a boy in her room or something.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to think of like a hint I can give you guys.
Oh.
Um,
oh my God. Is it a contemporary book, right?
It's a contemporary.
Okay. So, okay. Oh, God.
was it on the list?
I'm pretty sure it was on the list.
Oh, is it when? Oh, I don't know why this is coming to mind, but when Dimple met Rashid, that comes to mind.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that it? Yo.
Okay. I
read that book in, like,
no
forever.
longer have my copy of that book, so I wouldn't be able to like look back at that or sentence. But yeah, because she got into the like program that she wanted to get into, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I was like trying to remember what the context was. All right.
I don't have any more, so you can skip me.
Cool. That is our game. That was fun. I apologize for tapping out during the beginning of it, but it was cool. Okay, so now we want to move on to something a little bit different, which is to sort of have a little bit of a discussion and just sort of facilitate some conversation. So for this live show, one of the things we wanted to talk about was smaller creators, because I think all of us consider ourselves smaller creators. so one of the things that's mainly the things we notice in the booktube community is that there's sort of, I don't want to say that there's like niches, but it feels like there's the bigger creators and they all sort of are together, and then there's a lot of the smaller creators that are all in it together, and that can sometimes be frustrating, especially with YouTube and some of the things that they've been doing with creators. So we just sort of wanted to talk about what it's like to be a smaller creator. So if you guys have any inputs or any thoughts on that, maybe what your experience is like, maybe something that's been frustrating for you or something that you've learned in your time of being a creator that's been helpful to you, things like that.
Well, one of the things I wrote down was actually like Booktube Equality, and you brought it up with saying like the bigger booktubers versus the smaller booktubers, which is essentially what it is. Right. And I mean, one experience that I had was, I don't know if any of you guys were at BookCon this past year, but how they had that it was like that it was supposed to be like a meetup, not like a meet and greet, but just like a meetup.
Yeah,
and it ended up being a meet and greet with all the bigger channels.
Was that at like that was like when they took that picture, right?
The photo shoot. Was that like that whole drama that happened where it was like 100 people who showed up for this photo shoot?
I don't think it was the photo thing. It was, I'm pretty sure it was like the very last thing on Sunday. But I just remember some of the bigger booktubers came in and they lined up in the front and they were like, okay, so this is what we're doing. And I'm like, this isn't what this is supposed to be though, is it?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people were very frustrated with that.
Yeah.
I was.
I agree with you. Like this year, I also feel like I went to BookCon and Book Expo, but I feel I've been to BookCons in the past. But I feel like this BookCon, there's something not off with it, but it was just like it felt different. I don't know if it was just the people or if it was just me, because after like a few days, I was like mentally exhausted. But it felt different than past years, and not to say that it was like exclusive, but I feel like people, you definitely could see the difference between larger creators and smaller creators when there should just be like everyone hanging out, like, hey, we're all making content. And one thing I like about Book Expo, which I know I have the privilege, I was able to go, and that's a big privilege. But one thing I liked was that nobody was a bigger creator. Like we were all there as creators, you know, like we were all there to grab different books so we can like review them and everything. But once we got to BookCon, you could feel this huge separation, and it was just I didn't like
some of the creators that are like featured, right? Because they're the ones that are on the panels and stuff. There was the one BookTube panel, which I was actually nice to see that there was some creators that I feel like maybe weren't as well known, that are maybe now a little bit more well known, that had their own panel, which was nice to see. This year, I feel like I haven't been to BookCon since 2017, just because I haven't been able to get out because my summers have been weird and stuff. It's like the year after, I think I was like close to like, and I also graduated last summer, so like there's just been difficulties getting out and stuff. But it feels like this year, like BookCon was just pushed back to July, so the same weekend as San Diego Comic-Con, which I thought was interesting. But I feel like because I still follow like updates and things, I haven't seen as much. Like I know they're doing like some like book club type thing where it's like sorting yourself into houses, so it's like houses, and there's some creators that were like involved in that. But I haven't seen any specific BookTube panels that were announced yet or anything, and so it feels like that, like a lot of that may not be there as much this year as it has been in the past, which I thought was interesting. But
speaking of panels, I just wanted to hop on that. Is that I see other book conventions, they do small creator panels. So I think that's really cool. So I for BookCon, I tried to like, I got a lot of attention. I was like, I put out a tweet. I was like, hey, maybe for this year we could put together a small creators channel. And I got a lot of response, but then when it actually came to the time to putting it together, like the traction started to die down. And this kind of like, I wish I had like some of the bigger creators like coming and like support, like maybe like, hey, go check this out. We're trying to put together a small creators panel that would have helped a little bit, you know, because I feel like that's really important to have, like seeing other conventions have it. And I think we should, like BookCon should have it, you know?
Right, because especially since it's such a big book convention, it draws a lot of creators in our community. Because that's the biggest thing is like a lot of us small creators need a bigger creator to like be like, here's something that a smaller creator is doing to like, I would love to be able to have a bigger creator involved in something like this, because it would draw a whole bunch of traction to what it is that we're all trying to do. And, you know, it's unhelpful when a lot of the big act like they want to help out smaller creators, but then their actions don't really always show it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I've gone to BookNet Fest for since it started. It's been like 3 years, I think now, and that's really an event where there's no big creator, small creator. It's not even just creators. It's like it's all of us together, and I think that's such a great event that handles that well. And I was on the panel for I think it was a small platform, big platform.
Oh yeah, I heard.
And we had a lot of good conversation about that too. It's like a lot of us, and I think we're all guilty of it, because I was like that when I went to my first BookCon in 2016, where we see these people as like celebrities, like it's a celebrity fan interaction more than it is on a creator interaction.
Do you think some of that has to do with some booktubers getting like publishing deals now where they're putting books out? So now they're authors as well as creators. I'm curious as to what you think about.
I mean, I think it kind of depends on who it is. I think I don't want to like name drop, but like I think there's creators, like big creators, that are like very genuinely nice people.
Right.
But I think they also have some sort of feeling that they are a celebrity, and they're like, well, we need to be away from these people, or we need to be taken care of, or blah 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 blah. Because there was a ton of, like, right after BookCon ended, there was a ton of drama that was going around on Twitter. I'm sure everybody saw it, and I talked to like multiple people about it, because there was two different types of drama that were going on with it, and one of them was the picture. But then there was another one where somebody had said that BookCon and Book Expo need to ensure that, however many large creators need to be taken care of. And I'm like, taken care of what? You're like, you have the choice to say no.
Right.
Like, you don't have to do anything.
Yeah.
And it was really frustrating. There was a lot of drama going on after BookCon this year.
Oh,
I saw it all like unfold, and I was like, what is going on? Like, and I think that's a weird thing, like with booktube drama, is we started out as like a really niche community where it felt like everyone really got along, and it was like, oh, we're all here and have the same purpose. We all have the same interests, and we're all trying to do similar things. And then as some channels started to get picked up more, and now like YouTube is doing that booktube series. Some people who aren't even like, at least to me, like aren't actually considered booktubers that are a part of that series. Like going things, I'm like, okay, and like YouTube is as a platform itself decides to pick and choose when it wants to recognize booktube, which is also kind of frustrating. But yeah,
I feel you, especially like with saying like they're celebrities, like they are popular in the sense of like in our community, and like, but they wouldn't get the same attention they would get at like other like popular things. But like it's I don't know how to describe it. It's just there's a like a disconnect now, like especially like Gabby, you were saying, like how we also like used to be this community, and that's what it should be. But they feel like as the bigger creators get bigger and as new creators come, it's just, I feel like, not to say the new creators are, I want more people to come, but I feel like there's grown in tension, like not tension, there's just an increase in drama, and like it wasn't like that before, and now it is, and it's just like I miss the old community,
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely think BookTube has blown up in the past. I mean, I've been doing it for like 6 years now, and it's definitely blown up since then.
Yeah.
Okay, so is a question that Rachel asked that I'll put up on the screen. She says, what's something that the larger platforms are doing that you guys would like to see more smaller creators involved in or included in?
I know it's the creators not doing it, but YouTube's doing it, but that the BookTube series that YouTube's doing. I would love to see some small creators in there. Like,
yeah, that would be really cool.
What authors would you want to see on that series, like with the smaller creators? Like maybe a smaller author as well, who's maybe...
Oh, yeah. That would be cool.
Oh, yeah.
So like a debut author, or maybe an author who like has a few books out but maybe hasn't hit the New York Times bestseller list that some people in the community may be familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
It could be fun to do something like that. Anything else?
I can't think of like any projects they're doing, like big, like just in general, but I feel like just like not even just shouting us out, but like if like just supporting us, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because there was a time like when I think it was when YouTube was changing its monetization requirements, so people that were able to be monetized, like all of them like lost that. And so then you got like a whole bunch of these videos that are like, here are all of these smaller creators that you should watch and support. And then like a few months after that, it like died away and it wasn't consistent. I think that's the thing that's most frustrating about it is like, it seems like it's done in a time where it seems like everyone needs it, but then, you know, it just basically needs to be more.
Yeah, that was such a high point for the community. Being part of the community at that time was just like we were just all helping each other. It was so nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. And if you guys have any other questions on the topic, here's another comment. I like the Booktube series. It shows how YouTube recognizes smaller creators and marginalized creators. Yeah, I think one of the things though, like I'm actually gonna pull up the Booktube series.
Because is it YouTube Premium? Is it like free? Because I forgot.
I don't know much about it.
I think it's a YouTube original. Here, I have it. Well, don't want to start that. But like one of the things that like I looked at is I was like, okay, here's some bigger creators that were involved in this. But like Ingrid Nielsen, I don't know if anyone knows who she is. Like I think they have her included in that, and I was like, I don't know if I necessarily consider you a booktuber.
Right.
Like, I was like, maybe include more people who've been in the community for a while.
Yeah.
But I think like it's a start because YouTube for the most part like completely ignores, or at least for a while completely ignored Booktube, and then like I don't think Booktube even has a panel at VidCon anymore. Like they completely disappeared from there, which I find ironic considering a lot of people consider the Vlog Brothers to be Booktubers.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it and it seems like there's a lot of like good like representation for authors at least, because like there's Ryan Stevenson for Just Mercy, and then Jacqueline Wood's son is also a part of it, and then like Michelle Obama. So like they have a lot of, from what I've seen of working at a bookstore, a lot of well-known names and representation for authors.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. I know. And like also the thing is that I'm looking at the description of it. They also don't have the people's channels too, which I kind of find odd.
Yeah, that was one of the things I saw. I was like, you just have the video posted, and there's like a very minimal like description or a very like minimal caption in the description, and I'm like, that's poor promoting, because then you have no way of knowing like who's in the video if you don't click the links, and it's also a poor way to promote the people who were involved in the conversation.
They don't like, even in the video they don't even like have the like the info thing that gives the channels. I don't see that, but I might go through this because this seems kind of cool. Like
I watched like one or two, but I watched the one with Michelle Obama, which was the first one, and I haven't watched any more since then. But okay, one of them has the caption includes the booktubers that are involved.
Oh, it does? Okay. Captioning.
The one from Malcolm Gladwell does. So the description just lists their names and their channel names, but doesn't actually include a link. So you would have to like look it up yourself. Ooh, okay. That was the ad that was playing. Okay, yeah. So for some reason it may have just been one of them that didn't do it. Maybe there wasn't anyone that was featured. I don't know. Weird. But
yeah, I think that series is like a really good way to like first of all like help out the booktube community, like make us known, and also to sort of help like other bookworms find each other. And it's like but I would love to see like some smaller creators in there, like give people like equal opportunities, smaller creators, smaller authors,
Yeah, absolutely. So there's this comment that was brought up. I don't think it's fair. That's fair to say unless people have 100+ K subs. I'm not sure they understand what it's like to have people constantly wanting some of your time. So like, what are your thoughts on that? Like, do you think smaller creators, it would just be like more difficult for them to understand what it's like to be in a bigger creator's shoes, and maybe that causes some discrepancy?
I don't know, maybe. I mean, I guess I can see that, but at the same time, like, we're all kind of making the same types of videos. So as a small creator, it's kind of frustrating because I've been doing this for like 5 or 6 years. And like, we're all making the same videos, but their videos are getting super huge. And I'm putting a lot of time and effort into mine, and I'm getting like 10 views.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think it's also to blame the YouTube algorithm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Is there any small creators that you guys watch that you would recommend?
I mean,
Like
obviously,
mentally.
Yeah, we're like,
through.
yeah, support creators, and then we just can't think.
yeah, obviously all you on the stream, but I just have been like I stepped away from BookTube for a little while. Like I haven't really officially gone back yet, but so I haven't really like been up to date with her. But like obviously all of you on the stream, like hello everyone watching, please go watch out all these lovely creators.
Yeah. I know, like, yeah, everyone here included, I'm like so grateful for you guys for being a part of this. My Sunday group has some really great people that I'm excited to get to chat with. Gosh, I'm trying to think of like other people that I watch, and I think that's the hard thing is like, is that an issue that like as smaller creators, maybe do you think we spend a lot of time also watching the bigger creators that we don't take enough time to support our own, because the bigger creators are what's constantly recommended to us, and they're the ones that sort of seem to be like the pinnacles, the figureheads of the community, you know, because I think that's a big thing for me is like I do spend a decent amount of time watching some of the bigger creators' videos, and I think I need to take more time to watch smaller creators. At least that's something that's a goal for me, because we're not going to get better unless we support each other, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I also think we have an overload of content to choose from too. Like we have so many things coming in and so many things we want to see. Like, I mean, I can't even tell you how long I've spent this week just going through my watch later list. And, yeah, I mean, and like I'm guilty of like I love Books and Lala, and I constantly watch her content. So it's just a matter of like of time, because especially this past week I've been going through like videos from like beginning of February and just now catching up.
Yeah.
And also I'm kind of ashamed of this, but like sometimes I just watch videos that personally just interest me. So like sometimes I just click on it, or I'll get a notification. I'm like, this video seems interesting to me, so I'll watch it. So it might also just be that too, because you have to, when you upload something, like let's say if it's like a book review of some book that's not popular, but you upload a book review of something else that's very popular, it's whatever the people that are looking at the video are going to click on more.
Yeah.
So I guess that's also
the content you're uploading.
I feel like it's hard to stand out in this community, you know, because we all talk about books, and like I feel like generally we have very similar content. So it's like it's hard to be that like a standout person. I mean, it's everyone makes wonderful content, but nothing is like like it's hard. It's just hard to stand out, you know.
Yeah, and I think that's that's part of my problem, because I have had such a problem trying to come up with like creative ideas, and any idea that I do have, it's like it's a time essential thing. So what I was trying to do is because I was, well, I guess I technically am still graduating in May, but I was saving everything for after the semester and just holding it, because like those are all like time sensitive things and I can do them more over the summer. But I mean, now with the current situation that we're in, I guess I could do it now. But like I'm constantly in my videos on Twitter, everywhere, I'm just like, guys, what do you want to see? And then nobody answers. Nobody answers at all.
Is because bigger creators will get like a lot of that immediate feedback, and so it's harder as a smaller creator to get that feedback and know like what is it that your audience members want to see. Because I've been taking an intro to social media class this semester, and my professor's been talking about a lot of those things, like how do you cater to your audience, and some stuff that I've been thinking about a lot in terms of my channel, and how do I navigate it, and how do I put out content that I know people want to watch, but I'm not hearing feedback from them. So it can be frustrating. Yeah.
There's also, I feel like, not just booktubers deal with this, just everyone, of that demand of content, like of what people want to see versus what we want to put out, you know?
Right.
Yeah. Going back to the book talk, I may have loved this amazing book, like I want to talk about it, but it was like a really unknown book. That's not going to get a lot of views. And I mean, it shouldn't just be about views, but I feel like everyone understands that it kind of impacts it a little bit, you know?
Right.
You just brought up a really interesting point. Before I could go to like Y'all Fest and all these like bigger events, I used to go to indie events around Florida, and like there'd be some in like Orlando and Boca. Like I would just drive to all these, and I'd stay a couple of days. And people in the indie world, like they have no idea that we exist. So they're really they're like, when you tell them, they're like fascinated by it, and they're so intrigued. So what I had done for a while is, because I had an influx of people wanting me, like, oh, can you talk about this? Can you talk about that? I had, I think a lot of us do. We have like our review stuff. So like, okay, if you want me to review your book, these are all the things you have to do. But then I also had another one because people wanted me to do like different types of content. I did like I guess you could call it like a sponsored thing, where it's like, okay, if you want like a media request or whatever, here's all this different stuff that I do. And with one particular video, I did an interview with this author, and like I did it while we were at an event, and like I posted her book trailer and everything, and she came back to me and she goes, "This isn't getting the views that I want." And I'm like, I don't know what you want me to do about that.
Yeah.
And I told her, because she brought it up at another event that we were at later on, and I said, well, unfortunately, the YouTube algorithm can only allow so much. So I had to put like in my, like, I don't do it often anymore, but I had to put like in the like sponsorship type thing, I am not responsible for anything the algorithm does. Any views, like views are purely based off of blah blah blah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's amazing. Because I think that's a big thing too, is like with me, like if I ever want to do any author interviews and things, I'm always scared to reach out to authors, because I'm like, what if they look at my channel, they see that it's small, they think it's not going to get a lot of views, and it's like, how do you even begin to start that process if you're going to be constantly shut down because you don't have views? Like, you're not going to be able to maybe reach as many people as a bigger creator would, and so they get a lot of those opportunities that you may not be able to get as a smaller creator because of those things. And it's like, well, how do you even get the opportunity if you don't have, the starting point? Like, you need to have those viewers first before you can start doing those other things, but you need to have some sort of thing to draw the viewers in, and those type of author interviews and like opportunities can be a great way to do that. So
going off of that, like, even, I mean, like, we like reading books, but then part of being a booktuber is like getting books for review. And like smaller creators have a hard time doing that because of those reasons. Like, publishers don't think that we're relevant, which is sad.
I think there's publishers now, because like my degree is in PR and advertising, and one of the things we talk about a lot is there's like the big social media influencers are starting to die out, and it's a rise of micro influencers now. And I think a lot of not a lot, but some of the publishers such as Quirk or Wednesday Books are starting to recognize that, because I remember it's been like 4 years now. Quirk used to have a I guess a blogger list that you could join, and they'll send you emails and they'll be like, hey, do you want this? And that was like way back when I was probably at like 500 subscribers. And and Wednesday Books, they had a representative come to BookNet Fest, and he said on a panel, he goes, if you just like DM us on Instagram, like you want something, we'll send it to you.
That's
so
nice.
I think like a lot. Yeah, I was shocked about that. But I think, there's a rise of micro influencers, and hopefully, I don't know, not really in BookTube yet, but in other in other industries and campaigns. Like it'll be our time soon, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, publishing companies, like I think they've definitely changed from the past. I mean, there's still, you have your major companies like Macmillan, you have Simon and Schuster and Bloom's. I forget how to say that last one, but it's those three. I feel like you have the big ones, and then you have like some of your smaller ones, which are willing to work with smaller creators. Like I know Hatchet reached out to me like a while ago, and they're like, "Hey, you want to review our novel box?" Like I have 1,000 followers on Instagram. And at the time, like I was at my peak and I was getting 100 likes per post. But like I auditioned, like not auditioned, I put my like thing in for the rep search and they somehow picked me. And I think it's really cool when like big companies have that opportunity, like, hey, can help out small creators, you know?
Yeah, that is nice.
Okay. Is there anything else we want to add on this topic before we move on?
I know it's hard, guys, but the views don't matter.
Yeah.
I stress that to my friends so much. Like it's so frustrating. I understand. I've been at 1,500 for such a long time, but you just have to power through.
You can get through it.
It's all about quality over quantity, and about the friendships and the connections that you're making along the way. Because there was this comment that I really liked, which is that you don't just want to be seen, you want to make connections, and I think that's really important.
Yeah, I met some of my like my best friends through Booktube, and I'm like, I could not be more grateful.
Yeah,
same,
absolutely. Okay, so with the time that we have left, I thought it would be fun to do some book recommendations. So I know we all opened up with talking about what book we are currently reading, but maybe there's something else you read recently or a book you really like that you think other people would want to be reading during this time of rust. I don't know, time of like quarantine and staying in your house. I don't know. So anyone have any books they want to throw out that we can maybe talk about? Anything you've recently read or?
I mean, I have a book right here. I was like ready to go. I mean, the Diviner series. Please, if you have not read it, I'm begging you, please read it. It is about ghosts and people have powers, and it takes place in 1920s New York, and it is so interesting and like it's so much fun. It kind of, like the first time I read it, like it gave me like a chill down my spine, but it's not too scary that you can't read it. It's just a little like oof.
And Libba Gray's writing style is fantastic. I just read King of Crows. It was so good.
Beautiful. I absolutely love her and all her writing. And I just the series is just so amazing. I haven't read her other series, but I like first The Diviners just has everything that I love, and it's perfect. And I'm also in love with Sam Lloyd, and when you meet him, you will also
I'm trying to think of positive books to read during quarantine, because the one I'm thinking of is like dark, violent. I don't think you all want to read Chaos Walking during quarantine.
How are you feeling about the movie adaptation of that now? Because I know like some of your videos, like that's been a whole thing.
Can we not talk about that at this moment? And just walks away, never comes back.
That's the thing that like confused me about that adaptation is like it's Tom Holland and Daisy Ridley. Like
I'm as confused as you are.
Why like they're like big names. I was like, why are we having any trouble selling
because the director can't stick to a schedule. It's mind-boggling to me. I can't. I really can't. And then they're like January, and I'm like, no. They've been filming this since 2018. 2021, seriously, guys. Seriously. And the spoilers I've heard, because people have seen this. People have seen this movie. But the things I've heard, it just gives me Percy Jackson movie vibes so much, and no one will listen to me.
Yeah. Yikes.
I'm trying to think of good books I've read recently.
I could say for me, one series I read the beginning of this year that I talked about a little bit on my channel. I read the Renegade series by Marissa Meyer. which is like
Yes.
superheroes and like badassery. Like I
Mhm.
think I don't know why it took me so long to read Marissa Meyer's books, because I read the Lunar Chronicles for the first time last year, and I've been meaning to get to it for years. But I was like, I have to buy like all 4 of the books in order to like read them. I mean, I could have gotten them from the library, like whatever, but I was like, I think then like Book Outlet had a sale, and it took me like 6 months after I got them to actually pick them up and read them because I was in a book slump. But like, I feel like now I'm finally on board with reading her books, and the Renegade series is so good.
I've heard
when
good
I
things.
yeah,
Mhm.
when I finished it, when I finished Supernova, I was reading it at the same time as one of my best friends, Ashley, who I've like had on this channel before. She doesn't have a BookTube channel, but she vlogs and I think does Bookstagram sometimes. We were both like, she was the one who bought me the first book, Renegades, for my birthday, to like get me to read it because she had read it and really liked it. And so then I like read through like the first 2 books in like 48 hours. Because I had like picked them up because I had like nothing else to do. I was still on winter break. And it was like right before I was moving back to start the semester. And so then when I had Supernova, she finished it, or I finished it. Like I think we like both finished it like within the span of like a few hours from each other. And so like the next day or a few days after, we like got on video chat and talked about it for an hour because it was just so crazy. And I have not read a book that has ended the way that Supernova has in such a long time, that it absolutely threw me for a loop. It's so good. So I recommend that series because it's fun, and I think once you get into it, you fly through it.
She's an auto-buy author for me now.
Yeah, for me too.
Everything.
Yeah.
I really need to read Lunar Chronicles.
Yes.
There's people that
so
have
good.
a love-hate relationship with it. I know one of my friends isn't a fan of it, and I was like, that's interesting. Because I feel like it's a really beloved series on BookTube.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I got crust one day. Like, we had a snow day. I had gotten the book the day before. And so the next day I had a snow day. And I literally just sat on my couch for 8 hours and flew through it. It was so good.
I love Crest. Crest is my favorite in the series of all of them. For sure.
Lately, I've been really into like new adult and adult rom-coms. So that's my latest obsession. And one that I just read at the beginning of this month was My Favorite Half Night Stand by Christina Lauren. And I listened to the audio, and I gotta tell you, within like the first like 15 minutes, I did a whole Twitter thread like unintentionally while reading this. I was like laughing and screaming and everything within like a half hour into this book. And it flies by so quickly. Like I finished it the next day, and it's like 8 hours, I think. It's not even that long. It is so good. I highly recommend all the rom-coms.
Okay. Blaine, is there any recommendations you want to throw out? Anything you've been reading recently or thoughts?
Not that I read recently, but my go-to recommendation is The Half-Life of Molly Pierce by Katrina Leno, because it's like the one book by her no one talks about, but as someone with dissociative identity disorder, it's portrayed really well. So
I've been meaning to read that because I love Katrina Leno.
Yeah.
Yo, wait. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna.
Add that to the good read.
We're adding that to the good read. Because I'm a huge fan of Summer of Salt. And I remember after reading it, I was like, I need to read every book Katrina Leno has written. And I totally forgot about that.
I know
no one talks about it, so.
Christina Lauren book, because so many people have been talking about those books, and I need to get to one of those.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this was a question that popped up. What is an underhyped book that you guys recommend?
So
well, I just kind of did that, so.
Yeah.
Let me go through what I've read.
For me, I don't know how underhyped this book is, but it's always like a go-to one for me that I recommend. Queens of Geek by Jen Wilde. I read that book a while back, but I like remember seeing like some booktuber make a video about it, and I had no idea it existed. And then I saw the cover and like the pink hair, and I was like, it's a book that takes place at a convention. And I think there's like so much that gets tackled in that book, and it's so short. like the representation of that book is insane, and it's always like a go-to rec for me. Like I love it, and I need to reread it, especially as we're getting closer to summer and like convention season. Yeah.
I also don't know how underhyped this is, but I'm just going to recommend the author in general, which is Jen Bennett. She did Alex Approximately, and like her new one is Chasing Lucky. All of her contemporaries I am obsessed with, and she just published a, like, it's not fantasy, but it's kind of like an adventure book, I would say. And it was maybe like a little bit of fantasy, I guess, called The Lady Rogue, and that one is also really good. I can't remember if I gave it a 4 or 5, but I love everything by Jen Bennett. She's also an auto buy for me.
Again, like everyone else, I'm not sure how underhyped it is, but because like it's been mentioned by Emma Books like several times, but it's such a good book. It's Heretics Anonymous. It's I don't even know how to describe it, but I just remember loving it. It was so good. The writing was so much fun. It was just so good.
One that I read recently and I loved. I have like a huge stack of books right here. I really liked Famous in a Small Town by Emma Mills. It's really fun. It's a lighthearted story, so perfect for the current situation. I typically read a lot of like really heavy, emotional, contemporary books. So if you guys are into that, I always recommend How to Make Friends with the Dark by Kathleen Glasgow. She's amazing.
Emma Mills' new book it's also really fast paced too. I think I read it during one of my retreats, and I think I finished it in like a combined total of probably like 8 hours.
Nice.
Okay. So, on that note, I want to throw it out to a Q&A. So if you guys have any questions for us just in general of like things you want to ask us, you can submit those questions in the chat or on Twitter using the hashtag Booktube Live Shows, and I'll be sure to look through both of the tags there. What things have you guys been doing? Like movies you've been watching recently, things you've been like binging through? How else have you been spending your time besides reading?
I know for me, it's still reading. I've been on Wattpad a lot. I've retracted back into my old days. But I also started a book club with one of my good friends. So I'm gonna do a shameless self promo. But we're gonna be reading the Bone Crier's Moon by Catherine Purity. I'm pretty sure I said that wrong. But we're having a live show on April 18th if you guys would like to join us. It's me and Kat. You can follow our Instagram. It's called Kindred Spirits Book Club, and we also have a Twitter. So that's what I've been up to.
I mean, I've gone to work, but I've only been doing like 2-hour shifts because we don't have enough like kids. But I have done so much like organizing in like my kitchen looks amazing just on the organizing that I've done. And also because I mean, since all semesters are like online now, I have nothing better to do, and I'm just slowly going through the group project, just a couple slides every single day. We just do 3 slides and then we're done. And then reading on top of that.
So I got a Wii before this whole thing happened, so like that helped me so much. And I was so scared that Mario Kart was not going to come in time. And then like the first day, Mario Kart came in, and I was like, "All right, guys, we're gonna complete this." So I've been audiobooking while playing Mario Kart.
That's awesome. Animal Crossing comes out tomorrow for the Switch, and I am so excited. It's pre-downloaded. I'm ready to go. I'm going dark for the next like 3 months.
I love Animal Crossing.
It's so good.
What about you,
Me and my partner literally just moved to the city, so we've been doing that. But because we have like nothing, we have to go out shopping and everything, and not a fun time.
Yeah, I work at a grocery store, and I was supposed to, like, I have, like, because I'm doing nothing, I'm going to go to work more, but we're closing at 8, but, like, my shifts will go later than that. But, like, I'm not going to work this week because I was supposed to have my show, for my high school show. We were gonna do a show called The Drowsy Chaperone, and that's not happening anymore. But our grocery store is like it's empty. It's the shelves are empty. It's crazy.
Yeah, same with my work. Like they actually was it yesterday? They called me and they're like, "Do you want the day off?" And I was like, "Sure." Like I guess people don't want to come to Barnes and Noble, man. Like
yeah, I mean, like that's a big thing is like all the hoarding and everything that's been going on, and obviously like a lot of people now don't want to leave their homes. They're now being put on lockdown where they can't leave their homes. Like it's insane because there's a lot of people that are out of jobs, and it's unfortunate, but we're making do with the time we have. There's this question: what is a TV show that you'd recommend binging on Hulu, Amazon Prime, or Netflix?
Crown.
Oh,
okay. It's so good.
I've been recommending this to my parents, but they don't listen to me. So I'll recommend if anyone has not watched Haunting of Hill House, you should do that. So that is
good.
Top notch.
So
like,
good.
Yeah.
It's so good. And like my family and I rewatched Dr. Sleep like 2 nights ago, and my mom loved it. And I was like, if you like this movie, Haunting of Hill House is right there. It's by the same person. Just watch it. And that one episode where it's like the one shots.
Oh my god,
it's gorgeous. It's so good.
There's just so much perfect about that series.
It's also, sorry, gotta recommend, Lost is on Hulu. So if you haven't watched Lost yet, go for it.
I feel like I need to
that.
rewatch Lost.
Yo, my dad and I are in our rewatch of it, forgotten so many things.
Yeah, like I remember like the general parts of it, and then I know like the last 2 seasons were like not good, and it was just like a whole confusing thing. There's so much.
Like literally my dad will say something and I'm like, oh, that happened, and I just totally like I'm even surprised watching it, and I'm like, why am I surprised?
Yeah.
Both on Netflix. I got And with an E. Love that series. There's 3 seasons. And then my go-to, literally, whenever I need something, is Criminal Minds. I'm way too obsessed with that show. It's kind of like it inspired me to go into the direction that I want to go in school. So I always recommend that show to everyone. I love that show so much. It's really good.
That's a good one. I'm restarting Supernatural from the beginning, so that'll be fun.
For me, to give you some Amazon Prime recommendations, because I've been using Prime a lot more now than I have before. Goodness. Marvelous Mrs. Maisel is one of my favorites. I love that show so much. The cast is great. God, what else? I watched, this is like, the show is like, it's a bit of a mess, but it's kind of fun. Chuck is fun. That's a show that was on like NBC, like back in 2009, 2010. That was a fun show. And these aren't really ones I've watched recently, but ones that I would recommend because they're fun and like lighthearted. Although the end of Chuck gets kind of dark and sad. Those are like 2 at the top of my list. Newsroom is also on, oh my goodness, it's on Amazon Prime. I think it still is. It was a while ago, and that's a good show. It's a little bit more intense, but I mean, for like the current climate and dealing with news and how it gets put together, I think that's interesting. At least I recommend it as a journalism major, so that's fun. So someone asked, is Haunting of Hill House, is that like supernatural horror, or because that's another thing is I haven't watched it because I'm not a big horror person. So,
yeah, but it's also psychological horror.
Yeah,
Both, because there's also a theory on the show about how each of the characters represent grief and how different people deal with grief, which the creators actually said like it's true. So like the whole show, like it's supernatural horror, but like it's more human and like dealing with more human things. And like again, I don't really like horror films, but I really liked it for like with all the characters and stuff like that.
Are there jump scares?
Yeah.
Kind of a little bit, but
I mean, it doesn't have like the big, huge like sound when the jump scares happen. It's more of a subtle, like it's just you're scared.
Those are the ones I can't handle.
Okay. Other questions that people have. Is there movies you guys have been watching or recommend? I had a movie marathon recently. So if we want to talk about TV shows, we can talk about movies as well. Any movies you guys have been watching?
I'm trying to like catch up on like older movies that I've never seen before. And the other day, it's probably been like a week now, I watched Jurassic Park for the first time, which is like my mom's favorite movie. And I have the rest of them from the library. And I started watching the second one with my boyfriend, and we got 20 minutes in, and I was just like, I can't watch this right now. Like, there's other things I need to focus on. So my plan is to try and finish it on Saturday, but we'll see how that goes.
Fun.
The last two movies I watched were awful, so I don't think I'll recommend those. But if you haven't seen any of like the recent Oscar nominations, top 3 to go for is Parasite, Jojo Rabbit. But Knives Out wasn't nominated for Best Picture, but I'd still say Knives Out.
Oh yeah, Knives Out and
love Knives Out.
Jojo Rabbit. I was supposed to see Knives Out. I was gonna get to go to an early screening of it because my college like sent me an email about it, but I think it ended up being full. And I saw Jojo Rabbit instead, and I'm very glad that I did because I probably wouldn't have gotten a chance to see it otherwise. And Taika Waititi I just love him.
It's such a good film. Like, I didn't expect to love it as much as I did. It's
amazing. God, I just watched a whole bunch of journalism films recently because I was like, if I can't be in journalism school, I can watch some of those movies. So I watched, like I was talking with you guys about this, I watched, oh my God, I watched Spotlight because I was at C2E2 recently and I got to see Mark Ruffalo and he was talking about that movie. And I was like, okay, cool, I should watch that. And I've been meaning to watch it for a while because I've had several professors that have brought that movie up. And so I'm like, I need to watch that. So I did that. I watched The Post. And then I also watched All the President's Men. And like watching all 3 of them like back to back to back was like great, especially The Post and All the President's Men, because after the way The Post ends, I was like, are you kidding me? And so I immediately went to Amazon to rent All the President's Men because it was just, and they're all so good.
It's so good.
I didn't realize that William Goldman did All the President's Men because I love The Princess Bride. It's like my favorite movie of all time.
I
saw like his name pop up as like the screenwriter, and I was like, are you kidding me? Like I was like, this is great because The Princess Bride is my favorite thing of all time. So good. And I want to rewatch Knives Out. I feel like I should rent it and do that because I feel like I watched it for the first time in theaters and I'm like, I need to go back and watch it now knowing what happens and see if that changes my viewing experience at all. Okay. So there's this question. What's all of your own favorite videos that you've created?
I'm to watch list, guys.
I gotta look at my I gotta go back to my channel.
I could say for me, like off the top of my head, just because it's one of the videos that's done well, I made the Dear Evan Hansen book tag because I liked that musical a lot, and I was like, I'm gonna make a book tag out of it, and that video got a decent amount of views, and other people have done the tag, so that was fun to see. It felt like I was contributing something to the community. It's probably not the best video I've ever made, but it did well, so that's nice.
Yeah, mine is kind of the same as that. Like a couple years ago when I first started BookTube, I did like a review and I used to script my reviews in a really specific way. But this particular one, I don't even remember what book it was for, honestly. But I just remember that I filmed it at like 2:30 in the morning after coming back from a party in college. And then I woke up the next morning after I like edited it and everything, and it did pretty well. And I just thought that was a really funny story. So I'm like, okay, cool.
Fun.
A recent video that I did was of Curses and Kisses picks what I eat for the day. I did that as part of Sanja's like a blog / booktube tour, because I'm on her street team, and that was really fun to do. And then one that it's been a couple of years, but I really liked when I picked my boyfriend's TBR, even though it didn't go like as I wanted to. Like, I introduced him to Marissa Meyer, and he loves Marissa Meyer now. And he's been doing more reading lately. I think he just finished the Illuminae files.
Oh, that's fun. I still need to get to Obsidio. It's been a while since I want to like listen to audiobooks for that series, because I've heard they're award winning. So I'm like, if I'm gonna go back and reread all of them, I need to listen to the audiobooks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna shameless plug his channel for a second, because he came to me one day and he goes, "I think I want to do BookTube," and I'm like, "What?"
Goals.
So yeah, he does. His channel name is Das Books, and in my opinion, he posts like really weird things, but at the same time, it's like really out of the box. Like, he does he read On the Come Up, and then he wrote a rap and rapped his review.
That's so
cool. That's so fun. Favorite video I think I've ever made. I had like other creators pick my TBR one month. Like, I reached out to a bunch of people and I was like, "Hey, wanna tell me what my TBR was?" And I thought it was like really fun, because I got to read these books I would not have usually read. So I think that's the experience of it was fun. But I think my favorite videos to make, if we're gonna talk about making video, I love making like cinematic videos, kind of. Like, especially vlogs are fun. Yeah.
I recently read a book that was like Percy Jackson, and now that's my brand now. So now every time there's a Percy Jackson ripoff, I have to review it now. So I guess that's my favorite video I've done recently. So expect another video about that.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna pop this comment up. The Percy Being a Wallflower movie. This tweet
It's
from you.
on Netflix
now. Because I thought you saw that, and you were like, "Is this a joke?" And I was like, "It took me a minute," and I was like, "Is it supposed to be on Netflix April 1st?" So
exactly, that's what I was thinking. And then everyone kept tagging me.
Wait.
Everyone kept talking to me, and I'm like, so I'm guessing this is real, right? Like,
I mean, I hope it is, because I haven't watched that movie in years. Because I read Percy Being a Wallflower for the first time for Booktube-a-thon several years back, and I think I like read it for like a book to movie adaptation challenge, and yeah, so it's been a few years, so I'm like, I want to go back and watch the movie. Because Paul Rudd is in it.
I know. I love how people totally forgot Paul Rudd was in it. And I was like, yeah, Paul Rudd's in the movie. He's like the best part. And they like filmed his I think he was only there for 3 days of filming. So they had to do it around him. And I was like, wow, 3 days of filming.
Love Paul Rudd. So April 1st, Perks of Being a Wallflower movie coming very soon. To a screen near you. Any other questions? So I think as we're starting to get towards the end, is there anything you guys want to plug as we start to maybe wrap up or get some last minute questions? Things that you're doing?
Yeah, just the book club, Kindred Spirits book club. Check it out.
I'm doing a really cool series this year where I'm trying to work my way through all of my unread books on my TBR. So I'm doing things like once a month where I pull a prompt out and vlog trying to read things from my TBR. So that's kind of fun.
Cool.
Well, I have I won't say what the book is, but the video that I'm posting next week is reading the lowest rated book on my TBR, which I've been wanting to do for a while. And then I'll also plug my book club, which is the Booktube Chicks book club. The Booktube Chicks are myself, Kathleen from For the Love of Books, and Desiree from Libri Labra. And we just did a whole rebrand that I think went really well in January. But March, we've been reading Reverie by Ryan LaSala. And our live show it's on the 29th. So at 6 p.m. And spoiler alert, I did not like it.
Oh,
Yeah. I'm hoping one of them likes it, because I don't.
ready to
It's
fight.
sometimes fun when you don't like a book because then you just get to vent about how terrible it is. Sometimes
Marissa,
that's fun.
it's just easier to talk about a book you didn't like.
It is though. It really is.
That's what you did. Yeah, it's so true.
I have a video coming out. I'm currently editing it of ranking Riordan verse characters. So if anyone's interested in that, I have nothing else other to plug than my YouTube channel.
Blaine, anything you want to plug?
My stuff that's coming out in recent, like in the next couple of weeks, is all mental health stuff. So
Fun. Good.
yeah.
For me, this is the thing that I'm currently doing. So on Sunday, we have Bookstore 2 that is featuring lovely creators, Molly from Magical Molly, Bridget from B Books, Steve from The Lawn Gnome, and Rachel from Reads with Rachel are all going to be joining me. So that should be a fun time. It's on Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern, so the same time as this live show. And then on Monday, I'm doing an interview with Caleb Rarig, who has written titles like Last Seen Leaving, White Rabbit, Death Prefers Blondes. He has 2 books coming out this year, one in April and one in July, I believe. So I'm going to be chatting with him. I don't know whether that's going to be live or not, or whether we're just going to be doing it through Skype and it'll be uploaded to my channel later. That is to be seen. But then hopefully I'll be doing more of these. So if you are a creator that wants to be involved in this live stream, please contact me and let me know, because I would love to get to do more of these. I just had my local paper reach out to me to talk to me about this and the cool thing that we're doing here. So hopefully more of these happen, because I'd love to be able to get as many creators involved as possible. So if there's any last minute questions, please send them in now. And then we can wrap it up here for tonight. Maybe we can end it by sort of saying like some thoughts you want to give, anything you want to say to the audience as they're in quarantine, recommendations, advice.
Stay safe, stay healthy, wash your hands.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna make a joke. Don't be a angel Lily and say that to go outside. Yeah. Don't do that.
Yeah. Because that was one of the things that I saw that like upset me, because I feel like a lot of people have been tweeting it out, but it was that interview that CBS did with a whole bunch of people that were down in Florida, like spring breakers that were down in Florida.
Oh yeah.
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 Oh, I have no words for it. It's just terrible, because it's not good. So on that note, thank you all so much for watching this live stream and hanging out with us. This was very fun. And I will see you all on Sunday for live show number 2. And thank you to all the lovely creators for joining me. You guys were all fantastic.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah,
it
thank
was
you.
a fun time. So stay safe, stay sane, wash your hands, and we will see you all next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
Adios.